I'm very excited today to have Michelle, who is a Chief Operating Officer. We're discussing returning to work, which is something that we both really struggled with. And I think a lot of people do. Ellie has talked about something that sticks out of my mind in your first episode. It's just like, you think you're Superwoman, you think you can take everything on. And after that first baby, you're like, wow, yeah, no. And so Michelle, because I've worked alongside Michelle, I've watched her. I never expected to see her get knocked down from just seeing like how she works, how efficient she is. So I was always impressed with all of the systems that you put into place in your personal life. And I'm still impressed with, like, I feel like it's an evolution, right? And so I feel like we would have been gatekeeping this if we didn't have you on as a guest. For anyone that's out there that's about to re-enter from their maternity leave or has re-entered and is in those early days of like, can I do this? I really am excited to have this conversation today to just really present some, I don't know, some of it's just mindset, right? And perspective. And then there's a lot of like tactical advice that I think the three of us bring, having gone through that, both Ellie and I twice and Michelle once, all within the last like 2-3 years.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Can you introduce yourself? Give us a little background.
Sure. So I'm Michelle Pelletier. I work for a real estate company. We service all of Eastern Mass. I'm the Chief Operating Officer. I've been here for just over 10 years now, which is wild. But I have a 2-year-old. He'll be 2 actually in a couple weeks. My first son. And yeah, that's my elevator pitch.
So you had a similar career trajectory to me. We both started as administrators right around the same time, about 10 years ago. And we're now the president and COO of the company. So obviously young mothers, there's a lot going on there when you're coming back. And you still haven't really wrapped your arms around being a mother, right? So, work feels like a little bit of like a retreat because it's the place you can thrive. But unfortunately, I think it does a disservice in the long run when you sort of get back into it. But that's my experience. Can you tell us what it felt like to you those first couple weeks coming back, if you even remember?
I was going to say, I was thinking a lot about this. I blacked a lot out, to be honest. I didn't realize how much I actually suppressed. I took just over 12 weeks of maternity leave on paper, and I'm a planner. I'm a natural planner. I have a different checklist every single week. And like Nicole said, the first few weeks back, it just felt like complete survival mode. I really thought I was going to be able to bounce right back in. So here I was, a new mom. I'm lucky and thankful that I had a really healthy pregnancy. I have a really healthy son. So I was like, this is going to be no sweat. I'll be fine. I'll be able to jump right back in. And then really, I felt like I just kept getting hit by a new bus every single day. Nicole and I talk about this all the time, that life happens. And I'm someone who looks at my day, I look at my week. And here I am on some days. I have it all time blocked. I have it ready to go. And then my son's sick or my childcare is sick. So I just constantly being able to pivot. But I will say the first few weeks back, I just didn't feel like myself. I was going through the motions. And
I love the honesty. I was right there with you. I think a lot of people felt the same way. So I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah. How could you feel like yourself, right? And it's weird because you're like almost re-entering your old life. You like get dressed and then you go and you're like, okay, where am I?
I think it's part of too, you don't want to admit that you're struggling, right? Where I'm someone who is typically confident, I'm ready, I never show up to even Zoom meetings late. And here I was running 15 minutes behind sometimes, or like not able to get on a call right away. And I just wasn't myself. And it's okay. And it just, you get through it.
So how did you navigate that kind of like new normal?
Well, coffee. But kidding aside, I just think letting go of control and in particular, I'm someone who's extremely type A. I am organized. I like to have my hands on a lot of things and see everything. And I'm just really giving up control and just trusting the people around me a lot more. Also setting better boundaries, which I've never been good at and I'm still trying to improve. But things like not wearing my Apple Watch, I actually threw it away, shutting off notifications on my phone, but little things that seem minor, but really at the end of the day impact your mental health.
Did you hear that word, Nicole? Boundaries?
I know.
We just had like a whole conversation about this last week. It's like so hard, but so important.
It is. And even setting boundaries, you think it feels like this weakness, or I'm sort of stepping back or not able to contribute like I used to. Boundaries are healthy, and it's not admitting defeat like some people think. It's more of how can I be the most effective in the hours that I have each day.
It's so funny because I feel like if I set boundaries of like, there was a situation where I had to answer a work call on a Saturday morning at like 6:30 in the morning. And one of my mentors, I was like talking to about afterwards, she was like, that's not their problem. That's a you problem for even being willing to do that. You know what I mean? Like you should have set the boundaries to do that. And like, I was like, well, that would have made me seem weak. But when other people set boundaries and are like, nope, I can't do it now, pick another time. I'm like, damn, that's kind of badass of them. You know what I mean? It's so funny how you perceive other people setting boundaries is such a positive, but like when you do it yourself, it's a negative.
Also, phase 2 of setting boundaries, I recently realized that like now I don't have trouble setting them. It's like the way I feel after I carry it. It's like so much real estate in my head. Like I spend more time worrying about the boundary I set than if I just like didn't set it and did the thing, because it's like so hard to get used to doing that.
Right. I think you actually said this to me, Nicole. It stuck with me as every day you're constantly getting glass balls thrown at you. One of them's a tennis ball. You need to decide which one you're able to drop, you know?
What would you do differently if you could go back?
Really just adjust my expectations. You're a different person once you have a child. And if I had given myself a little bit more grace from the start coming back, that I think I would have succeeded sooner than I did. But really just adjusting my expectations to know that I'm a different person. I have different priorities now, and I need to just allow myself, the to-do list might not always be done, but to just accept it and kind of pick and choose what I'm able to get done that day, really.
Expectations is definitely a common theme for us.
Well, I think a lot of new moms, right? They like don't necessarily talk about it. And in fact, we have a lot of females on our team. Now I'm way more open than I was when I first came back. And they're like, Michelle, you were struggling? Like, I would have never guessed that. And I'm like, oh my God, Nina, like I would go in my car and cry. Some days you just kind of have to feel it and then move on.
I love a good cry at work. I mean, I work in my own office, but like if I'm frustrated about something, I'll go cry and like get it out.
Yeah, you have to.
5 minutes, and it's like now my bad bitch is back, but like she needed a minute, you know?
Right.
There's one distinct memory of me just sobbing in my car, and I getting out of the house in the morning, coming back. This is important for people re-entering, is being expected to get up in the morning and like put your baby together, put yourself together, and then get out the door and show up to work and be present and put together is a lot. And my husband works early morning, so I'm in charge of drop off. So I was dropping Luke off at daycare. I was so disheveled all the time. And they have these art slots like right in front of you. They're in your face when you walk in the door. Weeks went by. I didn't realize that he had an art slot until I got an email that said, hey, Michelle, clean out Luke's art slot. There was like piles of art that he had done when he was an infant. I felt like such a bad mom after that. I'm like, here I am so disheveled and not even aware of my surroundings that I didn't even realize that I would have had these like great little hand paintings every single week. And that was when it hit me that I was like, wow, you need to get yourself together, step back, take a break, and like get your head back on your shoulders.
But also the other side, like you were devastated by that. And you brought it up to me so many times. You were like, I can't even believe this. I'm the worst mom. But now also in perspective, like Luke didn't care about his infant footprints. And like he
Like that's
knew you loved him.
that wasn't a tennis ball you could drop and nothing was wrong.
Yes.
Nothing shattered.
So there's like two sides of it, because these things feel so, it's a good wake up call, but they feel like so catastrophic in the moment. Like I'm a horrible mother. And then you're like, yeah, no, I'm like a great mom. Like it's totally fine.
And then you have two, and then every day something like that happens. And you're like, every day I'm like, not my best moment, but you know what? I've still got it. It's okay.
Yeah.
What support do you think makes the biggest difference that you have now, or support that you maybe were missing then that would have made a big difference?
So I'm thankful I have an amazing family that really helped. I think the support that helped me the most was people sent meal services for me. That makes a huge difference, but also just someone really telling you it's okay, or permission that you don't have to do it all. Just someone really to listen and not necessarily try to fix your problems. I had really bad intrusive thoughts. And
I think it's super common and not talked
yes,
about
it's not. So just someone to listen and tell you like, okay, Michelle, you're eating an ice cream. You're not going to drop a sprinkle and Luke's not going to swallow it, but not think I'm crazy. Just say, it's okay, feel it and move on. That to me made the major difference.
I love that. I wish I would have been more vocal about it. Like, and I have one that like is reoccurring and it's so bizarre. I have a fear that like one of my kids is going to fall off a balcony.
And the windows.
It's so bizarre. I have like this, it's like a balcony, and I'm like, there's no balconies in my life, truly. Like there's no balconies in my life. And I have no idea how it came about, but like it was so bad. And like we went on vacation recently and there was like balconies above and like we had a balcony and I was like sitting there and like kind of freaking out about it. I was like, this is the first balcony in 3 years since like it started that I've even been around. It's just like weird stuff and it doesn't make sense.
Intrusive thoughts are wild, and no one
Like,
talks about them because they
yeah.
think they're crazy, right?
Yes.
Like you're
Yes.
afraid to admit that I have this fear.
Yeah. So the whole concept of mental load, of like mom's mental load, and how like Davis and I had this conversation the other day. He was like, I'm a 50-50 parent. And I'm like, yes, you're like sometimes more than a 50-50 parent. But like when you talk about mental load, this girl's holding 80%. Like when I'm, you're talking about all the things you have to think about. And like intrusive thoughts are a huge part of that. From a business perspective, like how do you think leaders can help people coming back into the workforce, like knowing that, there's all these other things now going on in their head rather than like just doing their job?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I think the best advice I can give any leader, and I'm kind of living this right now, is just leading with patience and not pressure. Regardless if you're a mom or not a mom, say you have a medical leave or that type of thing, you never know what's happening behind closed doors, right? I shared it here already that I would show up, no one would have guessed that I was mentally struggling, and that goes for everybody. So just leading with patience and not pressure, like I said, and just flexibility and understanding, where I'd rather have someone be open and honest with me and know that I'm not judging them for voicing a concern or something that they have going on in their life. I trust people until I don't trust them or they do something to lose that trust. Just having those open lines of communication, I'd rather have someone speak up to me so then you can figure it out together. I'd rather not lose someone amazing than be, this is our rule, this is our policy, and so just being patient and communicating.
On kind of like the topic of rules and policies, has there been any like leadership techniques or processes that you've implemented as a head of operations?
Yes. I was thankful that before Nicole and I think there was like one or two people that had babies in a really long time at our company. And honestly, the two of us going through it made us really realize that we didn't have a ton in place. There was no formal, like, here's your return to work plan, or here's what we recommend leading up to your having your baby. And so now we are more proactive just in general. Once we know they're pregnant, just figuring out their transition plan out. That's something also that I think I internalized before I had my son, that delegating's hard. I think we all know that, but understanding that even the month leading up to having your baby, like there's so much on your brain. And not to say that people need to stop working before they have a baby, but just tapping into more people so that when you do have your baby or you have to go out, you feel more confident. And then coming back, allowing set hours work from home for people that are in office, and understanding that daycare is such a challenge, at least in our areas that
Everywhere, I think it's crazy.
Yeah, it's wild. I told my sister I was pregnant when I was 6 weeks pregnant, and she said, "Can I tell daycare?" And I was like, "What?" So the daycare knew before some of my best friends even knew I was pregnant. And they were like, "All right, you're on a wait list for December." My son was born in July. I was planning to go back in November, and still I had a wait.
I was the same way. 8 weeks is when I started applying to places, and like I applied to like 12. It's like $2,000 later and just like registration fees just to like get your name on the list. And I got a call literally like 3 or 4 months ago, and it was like, "Hey, we have a spot," and I was like, "Well, she's about to be 4."
Yeah, I keep getting emails now too. Same thing. I'm like, really?
Crazy.
3 years later? Another thing I want to add. So we are a company that like really leads for people, like leads with like, what do people need? We're a very flexible, like family type company. So we thought it kind of went without saying, like, if anyone ever needs anything, like when it comes to like, I don't have childcare or I can get to, we always say like literally every day, 3 times a day, I say, we're not doing brain surgery, right? Like we'll get through this. I think the important part for anyone listening, any company that you feel like, well, we're very flexible and understanding, someone that just had a baby doesn't even know what they need. So like being flexible and being like, just tell us what you need. They don't even know. Like you have to tell them what they need. Like you literally have to like help them get, like they don't know.
Good point you bring up. So anyone who's going out on maternity leave now, I say, if you have the means to take the full time, please take it. I'd rather have them come back 20 hours, because even that, it's like I said, getting out of the house is a lot. I'd rather be flexible.
Yeah. I love that. And I think there needs to be more managers that do that. I had this perpetuating fear that like I was going to leave and not be missed, right? Like, cause I had a 16-week maternity leave. I'm like, that's a long time. And I was like, how in the world is everything I do going to be done, right? Like someone else is going to figure it out and all of a sudden they're going to realize they don't need me, et cetera, et cetera. And so it's like, one, I needed to learn how to delegate and manage because like a lot of times managers, especially in big companies, like we operate like a smaller company. So I still am a doer, but like you're managing people, like that is a job to manage people. So you're not necessarily being like task oriented, you know? So it's like all these people can still kind of like still be self-sustaining, right? Which is like a new manager while you're gone. But like I had this fear that I was not going to be missed. And I felt like that kind of ruined some of my mental health during my first maternity leave. And like, it was so funny because I came back and like a lot of things were still the same. And it was like, oh, we're just going to wait till Ellie gets back and we'll deal with it. And it's like, that was very validating of like, it's hilarious. Like my second maternity leave, someone on my team was hired and she joked, she was like, I interviewed with 12 people because everyone was so scared to hire the wrong person for you and that they didn't want you to come back from maternity leave and like hate me, you know? And it's like, they're like, you come back and you realize like you are like, I had the complete reverse. I was like, damn, like I am needed and I feel great. And like, it feels so nice to be missed and wanted. And I just feel like hasn't really been talked about of like, I don't know,
Such a good point.
There's coming back, right? That whole 16 weeks of, okay, do they need me? Am I going to have a job when I come back? And then you try to validate yourself. So then that kind of goes back to how I was afraid to speak up or afraid to admit that I was actually not suffering isn't the right word, but just feeling challenged in different ways. That's why I think people don't speak up.
Weakness. Like
right?
the other layer to that, not to put words in your mouth, but as you're talking, like, and then the next layer is like, if you're a powerful, ambitious, like high achieving person, and then like, you know, like you have it in the back of your head that everybody else has in the back of their head, like, oh, she's like, this is going to be a misstep or she's going to lose a little bit. And you try to come back even more. And it's like, no, you literally, that's the worst thing you could do. Like you're just burning the candle on both ends. And to be honest, you come back way more efficient, way more efficient. You come back with like so many more superpowers literally than you'll ever have had before. You might not have the same amount of time, but it's actually better for everybody in the organization when you come back with like the perspective. And eventually, you know, as you evolve as a mother, you start to really like be able to lead, I think, in a whole different way. Do you feel the same way? How do you think that you have evolved as a leader since you become a mother?
Yeah, definitely everything you just said about being more efficient, but also more intentional. I think what I've done a good job now is just cutting through the noise of what do I need to get done. Now I'm more intentional, but also more direct. I just like don't have time for small talk anymore. It drives me crazy when we start a meeting and people just want to talk in circles for 10
talked about this today. I was like, I don't give a damn what the weather is like there.
It's like, okay, great. We all had a good fourth. We know that. Like, let's move on. We
You're
don't
doing it because I'm late for the meeting.
it drives me crazy. Yeah, but just being more intentional, less wasting time because we don't have time to.
Yeah. Anything else that you feel like you've let go of?
Definitely control. I'm someone, like I said, that just wants to have my eyes on everything, and delegating is very hard. So just in the past, I used to operate in a way of like, sometimes it's just easier to do it myself than to actually delegate. As I've grown, I'm just really giving up that control and understanding that the people around me have a chance to grow and I want to see them thrive and succeed. If it goes wrong or awry, we can figure it out, you know?
I remember when you went out, I told you this, and I'm tooting my own horn, but I remember having the moment of like, this is a launching point for you. Because as anyone that has grown, which most people have, especially in our age group, like from more of like an administrative or an entry level type role into more of a leadership role, you have so much left behind that you're still doing that you shouldn't be doing. And I told Michelle when she went out, because they're like going back to the fear of like, they're going to know that they don't need me. It's like, actually, I hope when you get back, everything that you did is being done and you can do even more elevated things at that point. Like you can, you're almost giving yourself a chance to elevate, because if people can handle things, then great. If people can do your job or part of it, then you get to like do even bigger things.
It pulls you out of the weeds. For anyone coming back from leave, like, don't have that fear. This is anyone's chance coming back to level up.
Yeah, I love that. And what I loved about you saying like, oh, I had to give up control and like trust the people around me or like let them do something, like that's becoming a better leader. Like it almost is forcing you. And I think motherhood forced me into being a better manager and being a better leader of like, rather than being the Ellie show, like it can't be the Ellie show because I can't sustain.
Right. It's actually, now I look at our organization as a whole, it's actually a major problem and red flag to me if there's only one person that can do something. That is like, we should have no single point of failure.
What do you tell yourself on the hard days? Do you have anything that you sort of just like set yourself back into reality?
Honestly, like Luke is so happy. I think just like I'll look at my phone and look at a photo and just realize that sometimes if I'm having a bad day or like I'm out somewhere and he's like cracking up laughing, like belly laughing, he's so silly, I'll just like stop and like get emotional and be like, this is why I do it. I think a lot of moms going back to work like have that guilt of like, okay, well, I'm not a good mom because I'm choosing to work or I have to work. When really at the end of the day, like Luke's looking up to me. He's looking up to his parents as people who are like driven, have really great work ethic and care about a lot of people. So that to me is something that just like really gets me through is he's happy. I know he's happy. And it just reminds me that there's more to life than just that went wrong at work today. It's like there's always another day. We'll fix it. We're not brain surgeons over here.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry if you are a brain surgeon listening to this.
Also, if you are a brain surgeon, I wanted to be one so bad.
You did. I know.
But the pressure, can you imagine?
No, I cannot imagine because literally, like we say that all the time. I'm like, no one's gonna die today if I just like turn it off, you know? I want to share. So I went to a cycle class this morning and this instructor like is amazing. Like she'll just like during a down part of it, she'll like just give this motivational speech. And she made a comment and she was like, we are building this community by trying together. And she was like, you know, I mean, there's a bunch more to it, but like that stuck out to me all day. And like, I think what you just said, like too, about like, okay, I'm caring for people. Why am I doing this? You know, to make him happy so that he can watch me do this. And also like as a leader, like building a community by just trying together. And that's what we're doing for this podcast. It's like, you know, we're all just really just trying to be good people and trying to do our best. And how beautiful is that?
And I would echo what Ellie said. I was thinking while you were talking, like we've sort of like gotten into like so many like emotional things and like alluded to different things, but like I definitely struggled really bad with depression and anxiety after my first. And I feel like a lot of people do, but then like the COVID thing didn't help. I think that like if I like, so me and Ellie doing this is like a large part of that. Like, so I got pregnant at like 11, 12 months after my second. And so that's when you were pregnant. So I hadn't really like even come out of it. And to be perfectly honest, like I was sort of in such a bad way that I was like, I can't re-enter this. I have to just keep going. Like, I know I don't want one child that wasn't what I wanted. So it was like, I'm going to have the other one quickly now where I'm like, I can like eventually see the light at the end, which is so horrible. But like, you don't know like what you don't know. Like you just can't help yourself. And you're like, I'll like power through this. And you can't power through it. And what we need is each other. Like everything changed when you became a part of my day to day and we're going through these things together. And I was watching you knowing you were struggling. It's like, I couldn't really broach the topic because you have to just kind of like figure that out on your own. But I feel like Ellie and I kind of have like talked back and forth. And like, that's what this entire thing was like birthed from, is like, you can be that to people listening to this right now. But like, if you are listening, like this isn't enough. Like when Ellie asked you like what would have made a difference, like especially from having a kid kind of in isolation for your first baby, like it's just moms being around you, like literally just seeing people are just getting by. Yes, but like seeing someone's just doing the best they can and you're not judging them. Their baby's happy, they look great. Why are you putting so much pressure on yourself? But you have to see it, or else you're just in an echo chamber of like, I'm not feeding them the right things, I'm not doing this right, I didn't breastfeed long enough, I didn't do this, and it's like. But then when you're around other moms,
I'm like, a weirdo because I have intrusive thoughts. Nobody else is having.
Yeah, right.
On that same topic, like, so I had postpartum anxiety with Jones, my youngest, and I did not, it was not typical. Like some of them were because like she like had to go to the emergency room a couple of different times for all three different things. And so like, if she coughed, I would like freak out, like start spiraling. That if she was like healthy and fine, she was fine. But I noticed like this like rage is the only way to like describe it. Like, and it's not like I was like being physical. It was just like this like built up rage inside of me. And I was out to like for margaritas with my oldest, like some moms in their class. And one of the moms who's like a little bit older, her youngest is my oldest age. She brought up, she was like, oh yeah, my anxiety with whatever kid it was manifested itself as rage. Like I was like so mad all the time. And I was like, what? You know, like I just was like, huh? And she was like, oh yeah. And like the whole group started talking about it. And I was like, wait a second. So like, this is normal, like the way I'm feeling, like, and I was so scared because I was like, I just thought that I was like a miserable bitch, like I just didn't, and I was like holding it down, which just made it even worse. And like the fact that she was so open about it, like literally probably saved my life. Like it was just totally brought me out of like, this feeling of just seclusion.
It is just being honest. I feel like I try to call everybody that comes back, like everybody, and just be like so honest. Like you're saying, like you have to just be so real. It doesn't matter. Like the professional side can come down for a second. Like it's another mom, and we've been there so recently that like you're just the best phone call that they can get. Like I think I talked to one of our marketing coordinators that came back for like over an hour, just like chatting one day, that she just called to be like, I called to check in. And then I was like, she was like trying to manage like her baby wouldn't take a bottle. I was like, mine didn't take a bottle either. Like this is what I did. And it's like, but I didn't, and not, it was no one's fault. Like, but I didn't have anybody telling me. I had no one to talk to about those things when I was kind of doing it. So it's like, I'm so happy to be that for people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Love it. Okay. So I feel like we're all over the place, but I
know
love
we are.
that. I love, that's just how my brain works anyways. But I think it's time for lightning round, which is my favorite.
Perfect.
So you told us that you're a Dunkin' girl, which means we are not going to ask. No, I'm just kidding. We will ask your question. What's your go-to coffee order?
Dunkin's, just a large ice with milk. Simple.
And you enjoy it.
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. All right. What is your favorite working mom hack?
Definitely time blocking. I would die without my calendar.
Are you a physical calendar or a digital calendar girl?
Both.
Ooh, love that. I do the same thing.
Yeah.
I can't, I'm like really, really hardcore on my physical calendar.
Yes.
Okay, your go-to toddler meal in a pinch.
So this is driven by Luke's favorite. It's actually Annie's mac and cheese with peas because he loves peas. So I pop a veggie in there.
I love that. That's so smart. Okay, one thing that you're proud of from this week.
I'm taking time off actually at the end of this week to go to the beach with my son. So just being present.
I love that. I love that. Okay, and then one thing that you feel like you're still figuring out.
Oh my gosh, I have a laundry list that I could go through here. I think just not putting myself last and eating healthy is something I'm still trying to figure out.
It's hard. All right, so where can people connect with you? Are you a LinkedIn girly? Are you an Instagram girly?
Yeah, definitely LinkedIn or Instagram, either of the two.
Love it.
Michelle Pelletier.
What was your AIM name?
Oh my gosh,
What-
mine was like giggles and smiles.
Oh, that's cute. That like after like spending 30 minutes with you, more than that, I can see you being
That's
like a
hilarious.
giggle and smile girl.
I didn't know that. What was yours?
I don't know. I'd have to look mine up. It was probably like skater girl or something. I'd never touched a skateboard, but like I was I did stupid shit like that.
That's amazing.
What was yours?
And I shared with my little sister because I didn't have anything to myself. Her name's Amy. Ours was Nick Game.
Hilarious. Okay, well, thank you so much for being here. I've loved getting to know you. I hope I can come up to Boston and we can like go out for drinks and hang out. I'm jealous that Nicole gets to be with you all the time and that y'all have built such a great, just like community of supportive women. I think that's wonderful. So thank you for coming on. It's been awesome. I feel like we could talk about this all the time. Moms returning to work. It is so hard. Lean on each other, lean on your community, and give yourself a ton of grace.
Right. And speak up.
Speak up. I love that.